Alright, so today I'm going to be showing how to run a wire through the firewall on a 2008 to 2012 Honda Accord sedan or coupe, or a 2010 to 2015 Honda Crosstour. So in this case I have a V6, but this works on the 4-cylinder or the V6. You're going to come around to the left side of the engine bay, and back here there's going to be this grommet, which will be behind the strut bar. And on the Crosstour, it's going to be a little bit harder to see, but it's the same kind of grommet. It's going to be in the same place. Now I already have the cover taken off. It's just going to be this. It's going to be a couple clips. You're going to pull from the front. You're going to pull off these 3 clips, and it's going to lift down like this, and then you're going to slide it out. So you're going to slide that out and pull that away. And once you pull that away, you're going to see there's a blower motor here, and the grommet is actually going to be directly up here behind it. So I took off the engine cover to see if it would give me a little bit more room here, and it definitely did help, but I am going to remove the support bar. So in order to do that, you're going to need a 12mm socket. You can use a wrench. I'm going to use an impact. You just got to put it on. Just take each nut off. It's going to be simple as that. So you're going to take off this nut, and this nut. You're not going to take off this one since it's connected to this actual support tower. It's the same for the Accord and the Crosstour. Now on both of them, you're going to want to come over to here, and you're going to take this hose. You're just going to pull it up, pop it off, pull it carefully in front. Now it's disconnected. And at this point, you can just carefully go ahead, lift up the bar, and take it off. So with the Crosstour, it has an extra plug that you can see the Accord does not have. So you can actually pop this and then slide it, and it's not going to give you a ton of space, but it does give you a tiny bit more. So now that it's off of here, it is going to give you a lot more room to get straight in there. So the wiring is going to the right, or if you're looking at it from in the engine bay, it's going to the left. So this means that you're going to want to cut on the right side of the grommet, just for safety, just to know that you're not going to accidentally cut into any wiring that's inside. So what I ended up doing is I was going to try a sharp knife, but I realized that there's no way to slice because of the space that you're in, so that's not going to work. I actually have this poking through. I just used just a fairly sharp point. It's not super sharp, but it's sharp enough that I was able to just carefully poke right through. And while we're probably not going to be able to see it, if I try to feel for it in here, and there we go. Yes, I do feel a little hole. So what ended up working best for me was I ended up cutting a tiny hole in it and putting it through the tip of the point that I used to go through the grommet, and I basically just pushed it through, and it went right through. And as you can see on the other side, the cable's right in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully push the wire in a little bit further, because I don't want to pull the wire back out when I pull the little tool back out. So I got the tool out, and as you can see in there, it looks like it's now going through. And let's check on the other side. So I'm gonna look with my camera here. But yes, we can see that the wire is successfully through. So now what we can do is go ahead and carefully push this through even more. All right, so now that I used the pliers to carefully push it in, I pushed it about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch at a time, slowly pushing it in. So once I got that all the way through, what I ended up doing was I used a snake camera to go straight up. In this case, if you look at where the plug is on the fan, and then here's the base of the motor, and if you look straight back, there is just like a piece sticking out right here. And if you go about straight up right here to the left of it, just barely, that's where the left side of the grommet is, so that you can see where your entrance hole was. So I stuck in maybe about 1 foot of wire, and I ended up taking a metal coat hanger, and you can see I just took this hook was already on the end of it, and what I did on the other end is I bent it straight, equal to the hook, so that I could see what direction the hook was actually facing. I was able to get it straight up into there, and took 2 or 3 tries, but I was able to get it in. I hooked it around it, and I carefully pulled it down, and I was able to get the wire all the way through. So, of course, you're never going to be able to see it, but the wire's coming straight down from where that grommet is, and now you have your wire. So, at this point, you can go ahead and clip this back in. Now that that's clipped back on, you're going to go ahead and take the support bar, just rest it in place, and then you're going to take this hose and carefully pull it up and over, push it in to lock it in place. And at this point, you have 3 nuts to install, and you're going to go ahead and want to put them on by hand, of course, before you actually tighten it with a wrench, or in my case, an impact. And of course, we'll put put on the other side as well. And once you slide this down into place, it should not wiggle at all, even if these are not tight. Now that these are on, you're gonna go ahead and just impact them back down. Just a quick second with the impact is good enough just to make sure it's tight. And again, now that that's done, we have our wire going all the way through there, coming into the other side, straight down on the passenger side, and that's about it. So hopefully this tutorial helped you. I know that there's 1 or 2 other videos on YouTube. Only one of them shows this method, but they didn't display exactly how to get the wire down from the grommet on the inside. They just showed it already done. So hopefully I was able to provide a little bit extra information, and thank you for watching.